From there, he went all over Galilee. He used synagogues for the meeting places and taught people the truth of God. God's kingdom was his theme, that beginning right now, they were under God's government, a good government. He also healed people of their diseases and of the bad effects that they had in their lives. Word got around to the entire Roman province of Syria. People brought anybody with an ailment, whether mental, emotional, or physical. Jesus healed them, one and all. More and more people came. The momentum gathered. Besides those from Galilee, crowds came from the 10 towns across the lake, others up from Jerusalem and Judea, still others across the Jordan. Mission. Jesus calls us to a mission. Church is not where Christians really need to be. That's not where the work happens. This morning, is our rest stop and a place to refuel. The real work comes when we leave our churches, when we enter doors of public schools, when we go to work Monday morning, when we're driving our cars or walking through Target. The real work of being Christian is in the real world, not in the pew. So, how has St. John's done the real work of God? How have we been the feet and hands of God? We all talk about the fact that our congregation is relatively small. However, in 2019, we partnered with 22 organizations to reach out in the Richmond metro area and beyond to help the hungry, to clothe the naked, to give drink to the thirsty, to follow Jesus' mission. We have done that. Every single one of us in this congregation has done that. And while you may not have showed up for a particular event, you have been generous in helping those who cannot help themselves. When the songs of the angel is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and the princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. And that's the work that we're doing here at St. John's every single day. We may not be big, but we have a big impact on our community. And I want to remind you today of the organizations that we have had an impact on. How do we live our mission at St. John's? Circle Center Adult Day Center. Are you all aware of St. John's history with Circle Center? We are one of the founding congregations of that organization. We have had someone from St. John's on the board of Circle Center for as long as that has been an organization. Circle Center is the oldest adult daycare center in Virginia. Others who have come after have used Circle Center's business plan to build their own. We have touched hundreds of people in our community through our donations and work with Circle Center. Caritas. We all hear that word. I know that we've been working with Caritas for at least 14 years, and I think a whole lot longer than that. We have been generous with our time. We've been an intake center. We have been a holding place and an emergency shelter. We have helped feed these people. All of us here, with your mission donations, have supported hundreds of homeless people in the Richmond metro area. We touch more than we know. Acts. You may not know this about Acts, but St. John's is one of the founding congregations for Acts, area congregations together in service. We started right over here at St. James, and Acts is an organization that attempts to prevent homelessness. What they have discovered is that oftentimes it takes less than $500 to keep a family from becoming homeless. But once they get in a shelter, it costs the community thousands of dollars. Your generosity towards Acts has helped keep hundreds of people from being homeless. The people that we have affected every day. Health Brigade, formerly Fan Free Clinic. This is an organization that helps people who don't have health care. They can come in and get the kinds of care that they need. They have mental health, they have physical health. St. John's has been an important contributor to Fan Free Clinic and now Health Brigade. Everyone here has touched people through our contributions. Here's a favorite one of mine. Police Athletic League. You know, at Christmas time, we always have Ron Mays and his group of inner city folks come in and give a concert. They didn't this year, but they will be back. These are young kids that the police in community with them help to keep them off the streets, help to keep them focused on their schoolwork. And every single one of us have supported that effort. You've heard us talk about comfort cases. And there's our crew for the last pack party. Comfort Cases supports children who are taken into foster care by giving them a backpack with age-appropriate pajamas, toiletries, toy, something they can call their own rather than a plastic bag. And you have supported these hundreds of foster children to make their lives better, to make them feel important. Side by Side. Side by Side used to be Rosemead. It's an organization that helps teenage LGBT kids come out in the community. It's a safe space. It's a place where they can talk about the issues that they have. No one should be kicked out for the way they love. That's the way we feel here, right? We're all God's children. And through your support of Side by Side, we have continued to live God's mission in the world. Do you remember Canine Companions? The dogs that came in for independence? The little puppies, the training. These dogs are amazing. It costs $70,000 to train one of those dogs. And in your generosity, you have helped Canine Companions for Independence train dogs to help folks who are in wheelchairs, who have epileptic seizures, who need to have that additional help. You have done that. St. John's has done that. Feed More. Feed More is a wonderful organization that is a food pantry, but they do also Meals on Wheels. What other kinds of things, David, besides Meals on Wheels?
Oh, we pack food and we send it all over Central Virginia to, and we also do the backpacks and, feed the children after school, all sorts of products.
Your generosity touches thousands of lives through the Feed More Project. Change the World RVA. This is an organization that helps homeless teenagers have a safe place to be. They feed them, they give them counseling, they help them get back and forth to school. And you, everyone here that supports our missions, have helped these teenagers be safer. Church World Service. This is the emergency services of our church. I believe this is the organization that we did the health kits for. Is that right?
Health kits and disaster buckets.
And disaster buckets.
And crop walk.
And crop walk. Exactly right. Church World Service. So every single one of us have supported thousands of people, not just in this community, but all over the world. All over the world. Green Spring International Academy of Music. If you had the opportunity to hear their concert, we were able to give them an opportunity to have a place to perform when they had an emergency in their normal home. These are young musicians that are recognized worldwide by their music. They perform worldwide, and you have helped them do that. International Rescue Committee, I know this is very close to Marcy's heart. The International Rescue Committee delivers comprehensive and holistic help to uprooted people.
So can I say something?
Absolutely.
So there are 8 organizations recognized by the U.S. government for refugee resettlement, which is a very long process. Most of the refugees that I have met since I have been working with them have been in refugee camps for 4 years or more, sometimes long enough to get married, have a family. Their whole life has been lived in a tent while they wait for the screening that our government does before they're able to come to the United States. This organization works basically with people who have been heavily vetted and are coming here under the auspices of our government's program to resettle people. The number of people that are being settled has decreased beyond anyone's belief in the last 2 years, and continues to go down. The people that come usually come with 1 suitcase apiece and hopes to have a better life. So, and as a volunteer, when they first come, I spend time with them. Most of them don't speak English. They get English language lessons. They learn how to take a bus. Most of them need a lot of medical appointments. They come from very bad medical situations where they haven't had any care, so they have a lot of health problems. And the IRC really works hard with each one of their clients to get them up and settled and to feel like there's a place for them here.
People all over the world benefit from the mission that is St. John's. Risk. Chris?
Risk is a coalition of churches that St. John's belongs to. So we are all members by virtue of our membership in St. John's. It's Richmonders involved in strengthening communities. So issues are chosen in a very democratic process across its members, And then we all work together to do whatever it takes to improve the situation. Right now, they're working on eviction and housing issues, prevention of gun violence, and literacy for the Richmond area children.
The entire Richmond area is better because of our involvement in risk. Grace Inside, this is the chaplaincy that we support for people who are incarcerated. Because we believe that no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome at St. John's. You are a child of God. Opportunity Alliance and Reentry. This is the organization that we chose for our Christmas tree over the last couple of years. They are folks who are incarcerated but want to participate with their families. And you have helped them do that, to have respect and be able to contact their families over the holidays. This is Global Missions. Global Missions, excuse me, I'm sorry. I thought I'd make it through this without too much. But Global Missions, we all know that this is an important part of how St. John's feels about our identity and how we touch the world. Virginia Interfaith Center, that was what Kathy was talking about. This is an organization that puts people together for equality and justice issues and goes to the General Assembly to raise awareness for that. Equality Virginia, again, an organization that touches hundreds of lives throughout Virginia to help to work towards equal pay, equal recognition for the LGBT community, and all those things that make people whole in the community. And here's the group that went last year. Good looking group. Virginia Pride. We all know our dedication to Virginia Pride. We always have a tent there. We always have outreach there. This is to let our entire community know that we support, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey. You are welcome here, and you are a child of God. And here's a group of people that were there with the last Pride. Child Savers. It's a nonprofit organization that helps to intervene to prepare children for school, address mental health, and recover from trauma. Over 100 years old. And you are part of that saving. You are part of that. So where do you volunteer to fulfill your mission? 22 organizations last year. We increased our personal donations about 12%, which allowed the Steely Foundation to touch even more people. Your understanding of your mission in Richmond is what allows us as a congregation to touch hundreds of thousands of people throughout the entire state and world. So today, I've got a list of all the missions, and I want to pass this out. I'd like for you all to take a look at it. I've talked about each one of them, given you a little overview of how St. John's and each and every one of us has affected our community, has been in the mission business, has taken that small boat have taken the steps on the sand and are the hands and feet of God in our community. Take a look at this list and give us an idea which ones are most important to you. If you see that your favorite mission is not on here, please list it and drop it in the offering plate. We have done an amazing job in the last year. Again, this small congregation has increased its personal donations to mission because of your passion for helping others in our community. It's always been St. John's passion, and you continue to live that into the future. And we on the mission committee this year are looking forward to being even more generous because of the Steely grant this year again. So, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please make sure that you come up and ask any of us.
Dreama?
I wanted to ask right now,
Oh.
actually, one, just for the benefit of everyone. I don't want anyone to misinterpret the scale here on the survey.
Right.
Oftentimes, 1 means most important in certain scales, and sometimes 5 means most important. Which type of scale is this?
Oh, good question, and I hadn't even thought about it. So let's make a decision. The number 1 important one will be number 1.
Most
The number
important.
2 important one will be number 2. The number 3 important one will be number 3, and so forth.
So the 5th would be the least important by that system.
Correct.
Right.
That is correct.
And one of the ones we don't have on there is Poor People's Campaign, which we've been providing space for so that they can do educating people ready to go out and help register people for voting and things like that.
We have done an amazing job in 2019. We will continue God's mission in 2020. You are mission-driven people. And God knows that and is using us. Praise God.
Praise God.
Amen.